Good morning everyone. Welcome back to GK Today. I hope you all are doing very well, and today we'll be discussing the most important MCQs for 4th of June 2024. Let's start with our session. The first question is, recently where was the 6th meeting of India-Japan Joint Working Group on Counter-Terrorism held? So the 6th meeting of India-Japan Joint Working Group on Counter-Terrorism took place in New Delhi, and key discussions involved the regional terrorist threats, state-sponsored terrorism, and the misuse of technology by the terrorist. So both nations emphasized enhancing cooperation through information exchange, capacity building, and multilateral cooperation. And the next meeting will be in Tokyo at a mutually convenient date. Okay. So what was the venue for the 6th meeting of India-Japan Joint Working Group on Counter-Terrorism? Answer would be New Delhi. Now let's talk about some important meetings that were in news in the past few days. Recently, where was the 16th meeting of India-UK Joint Working Group on Counter-Terrorism held? So correct answer would be New Delhi. Okay. Recently, which country has hosted the 46th Antarctic Treaty Consultative Meeting in Kochi? Correct answer is India. India has hosted this event. Recently, where was the 3rd Eminent Persons Meeting of BIMSTEC held? Answer is Dhaka. Recently, where was the 10th meeting of the Memory of the World Committee for Asia and the Pacific held? Answer is Ulaanbaatar, that lies in Mongolia country. Okay. Also, if you talk about Ulaanbaatar, it was venue for one more meeting, and that meeting was the 12th India-Mongolia Joint Working Group meeting on defense. Okay, you can be asked that what is the venue for the 12th India-Mongolia Joint Working Group meeting on defense? Answer would be Ulaanbaatar in Mongolia. Recently, where was the 4th Joint Committee meeting for the review of ASEAN-India Trade in Goods Agreement held? Answer is the country Malaysia. Okay. Next question is, recently which country has launched its first space agency and plans to make a Mars landing by the end of 2045? This is the country South Korea. South Korea plans a Mars landing by the end of 2045, and for this purpose they have invested 100 trillion won. Okay, and it is approximately $72.6 billion. So President Yoon Suk Yeol has announced it at the launch of Korea Aerospace Administration, that is KASA, which aims to boost the South Korea into the top 5 space powers. So KASA will support the aerospace industry with the first lunar lander planned for the year 2032. And South Korea plans at least 3 more space launches by the end of 2027. Okay, so South Korea has launched their first space agency, and now they plan to make a Mars landing by the end of 2045. In the next slide, we will see some international current affairs. The first question is, recently which country launched the multi-mission communication satellite? Here answer would be Pakistan. Pakistan has launched the multi-mission communication satellite from where? From China's Xichang Satellite Launch Center. It is a part of Pakistan's national space program for 2047. And this satellite aims to enhance the internet connectivity, the TV broadcast, and the cellular phones broadband, along with e-commerce and e-governance in Pakistan. Recently, Pakistan also launched the mini satellite, if you remember, named as iCube Qamar, right, with China's Chang'e 6 lunar mission. And previous space assets include, for example, PACSat 1R, then there is iCube Qamar, PRSS-1, etc. Okay, so Pakistan has recently launched the multi-mission communication satellite. The next question is, recently which country has pledged $135 million help to Moldova country to counter the Russian influence? This is the country US. US pledges this much amount in aid to Moldova to counter Russian influence, and Moldova is a landlocked country in the northeastern Balkan region of Europe, and it borders with Ukraine and Romania countries. And Moldova experiences moderate winters and warm summers, and it possesses natural resources like lignite, phosphorites, gypsum and limestone. Okay, so US has decided to help the country Moldova with $135 million so that they can counter the influence of Russia. Recently, the researchers of which country developed a tiny wooden satellite named as LignoSat. This is the country Japan. Which country has recently assumed the chair of the Colombo process for the term 2024 to 26? This is our country, India. Which country named the cyclonic storm Remel that recently hit the Bay of Bengal? Remel has hit recently the West Bengal and some parts of Bangladesh as well, and it arose from Bay of Bengal. Oman country has named this cyclone as Remel. Okay. Next is, what is the theme of World No Tobacco Day 2024? First of all, we observe this day on 31st of May, and this year the theme is protecting children from tobacco industry interference, and the theme aims to safeguard the young people from the harmful effects of tobacco, and it calls on the industry to cease targeting the youth with detrimental products. Okay, so two things are important. We observe the World No Tobacco Day on 31st of May. This year the theme is protecting children from tobacco industry interference. Let's see some important days and themes. First is, what is the theme for the World Health Assembly 2024? The theme was All for Health, Health for All. Okay. What is the theme for International Day of United Nations Peacekeepers 2024? The theme was Fit for the Future, Building Better Together. This was the theme. Okay. Next is, what is the theme for the Green Airports Recognition 2024? The theme was Biodiversity. I am writing it here for question number 3. Biodiversity and the nature-based solutions. This was the theme. Okay. What is the theme of International Day for Biological Diversity 2024? The theme was Be Part of the Plan. Okay. And last is, what is the theme for World Bee Day 2024? The theme was Be Engaged with Youth. Okay. You have to tell me, when do we observe the World Bee Day? Please write your answer in the comment section. What is the primary aim of the Red Flag 24 exercise recently held in Alaska? So correct answer here is to integrate the air crew in a multinational environment through advanced aerial combat training. Actually, Indian Air Force contingent arrived at the Alaska for the Red Flag exercise, deploying the Rafale fighter jets, and Red Flag is a 2-week advanced aerial combat training exercise which integrates multinational air crews in the realistic scenarios. Approximately 3,100 service members and over 100 aircraft participate, using 77,000 square miles of airspace in the Joint Pacific Alaska Range Complex. So this exercise has occurred since 1975. Okay. So what is the purpose of Red Flag exercise? Answer is to integrate air crew in a multinational environment through advanced aerial combat training. Let's see some important exercises that were in news in the past few days. The first question is, recently where was the exercise Cyber Suraksha 2024 held? Answer is New Delhi. Recently, the 10th Wild Ass Population Estimation exercise was conducted by the Forest Department of which Indian state? Answer is Gujarat. Exercise Tarkash Adjoint Counter-Terrorism exercise recently held between which two countries? So Tarkash is conducted between India and US. Which two countries recently carried out the 7th edition of Joint Military Exercise Shakti? Answer is India and France. Dustlick Joint Military Exercise recently seen in the news is conducted between which two countries? Answer is India and Uzbekistan. Okay. Recently, where was the Kavango Zambezi Trans-Frontier Conservation Area Summit held? So correct answer here is Zambia country, that is C option. Over 400 delegates convened in Livingstone, Zambia for the first Kavango Zambezi Trans-Frontier Conservation Area Summit, and this summit aims to examine the progress since its inception, to review the 2016 Memorandum of Understanding and reinforce the 2011 Casa Treaty. Okay. So the theme basically focuses on using the Casa's natural and cultural resources for socio-economic development, and Casa TFCA spans in 5,20,000 square kilometers in across 5 southern African countries. Okay, so what is the venue for this summit? Answer is the country Zambia. Now let's see some important summits that were in news. The first question is, recently where was an inaugural summit on clean cooking in Africa held? Answer is the city of Paris. Recently where was the World Future Energy Summit 2024 organized? It was organized in Abu Dhabi. Recently where was the first nuclear energy summit held? Answer is Brussels in the country Belgium. Recently which country hosted the third summit for democracy? Answer is South Korea. And fifth is, recently FICCI has organized the cold chain and logistics summit at which place? Answer is New Delhi. Okay. Next is, which organization recently released the report titled as Hooking the Next Generation, How the Tobacco Industry Captures the Young Customers? So here the correct answer is World Health Organization. WHO along with STOP have released this particular report on World No Tobacco Day, and we observe that day on 31st of May. So key findings include that 37 million children aged between 13 to 15 years use tobacco globally, and 85% of the children who are aged between 15 to 30 years old were exposed to the e-cigarettes ad, and e-cigarettes produce nicotine-laden aerosol, which is an addictive substance, right? Simply we have to remember that this is the report from World Health Organization. Let's see some important reports that were in news. The first question is, which organization recently released the Global Food Policy Report 2024? So this report has been published by IFPRI, full form is International Food Policy Research Institute, and this report has revealed that 38% of Indians consume unhealthy foods, while only 28% of them eat all 5 recommended food groups. Malnutrition in India arise from 15.4% in the year 2011 to now 16.6% in the year 2021. Adult overweight prevalence increased from 12.9% in 2006 to 16.4% in the year 2016. And the processed food consumption is growing, with packaged foods share in the household budgets nearly doubling to 12%. Okay, simply we have to remember that this is the report from the International Food Policy Research Institute. According to a recent report by the Wildlife Institute of India, which state has the maximum number of gangetic dolphins in India? This is the state UP. Recently which organization released a report titled as Water for Shared Prosperity? Answer is World Bank. World Wildlife Crime Report 2024 recently released by which organization? It was released by United Nations Office on Drug and Crime. According to Global Electricity Review 2024 report, India surpassed which country to become the third largest solar power generator? This is the country Japan. Fine. Next is Monsoon Croaks Bio Blitz 2024 recently organized in which Indian state? Correct answer here is C option, Kerala. The Center for Citizen Science and Biodiversity Informatics under the Kerala Forest Research Institute is organizing the Monsoon Croaks Bio Blitz 2024 to engage the public in the frog conservation process. So it is open to all ages, and participants document the frog species via the iNaturalist application, contributing to the Global Biodiversity Information Facility. So notable species recorded include the shrub frog, Malabar, torrent toad, small tree frog, and purple frog as well. Okay, so it has been organized in the state of Kerala. Now let's see some state related current affairs. The first one is Morni Hills, recently seen in the news due to forest fire, is located in which Indian state? So it is the Haryana's Lone Hill Station, and recently it was battled with a severe forest fire and scorching temperatures which exceeds 46 degrees centigrade, and the blaze spread rapidly through the arid landscape, engulfing the shrubs, bushes and the trees. It is situated in the Shivalik range at 3600 feet above the sea level, and Morni Hills harbored diverse flora and fauna. Haryana features various hills and ranges including the Shivalik in the north and the Aravallis that stretches from southwest Haryana to Delhi, with Morni Hills in Panchkula and Dhosi Hills in the Mahendragarh, which is known for its extinct volcano. Okay, so Morni Hills was in news because of a forest fire and it lies in the state of Haryana. The Doba Andhari Tiger Reserve, recently seen in the news, is located in which Indian state? Correct answer here is Maharashtra. And why this tiger reserve came into news? Because a 32-year-old woman was killed by a tiger in the buffer zone of the Tadoba Andhari Tiger Reserve of Maharashtra. It is the largest and the oldest tiger reserve in Maharashtra that covers 625 square kilometers of area, and it includes the Tadoba National Park and Andhari Wildlife Sanctuary. So it features southern tropical dry deciduous vegetation and notable wildlife like tigers, leopards and sloth bears. The reserve has a corridor linkages with other tiger reserves and it houses the diverse flora and fauna. Okay, so here correct answer is Maharashtra state. Recently, where was the 4th International Conference on Small Island Developing States held? Venue for this conference is Antigua and Barbuda. Rajaji Tiger Reserve, recently seen in the news, is located in which Indian state? It lies in Uttarakhand. Khugwa National Fossils Park, recently seen in the news, is located in which Indian state? This fossil park lies in the state of Madhya Pradesh. Which country recently introduced the one person, one file mass surveillance program? So here correct answer is A option, China. China introduced the one person, one file mass surveillance program intending to triple the facial recognition camera deployment and compile the extensive personal data on residents. So this reflects China's push for comprehensive digital censorship, which actually increases the surveillance to create a pervasive digital record for each citizen. And this initiative encodes individuals' relationship, activities and their behaviors into data, which would enhance the party oversight. Okay, so China country has introduced the one person, one file mass surveillance program. Fine. Now let's talk about some important initiatives. First is Business Responsibility and Sustainability Reporting Initiative, recently seen in the news, has been introduced by which organization? Here answer would be SEBI. SEBI has introduced this initiative. GSAP Skills Platform, recently seen in the news, is an initiative of which organization? It is the initiative of IUCN, International Union for Conservation of Nature. Recently, which state launched the School on Wheels initiative? Answer is the state of Manipur. One Vehicle, One Fastag initiative, recently seen in the news, is launched by which organization? Answer is National Highways Authority of India. Which Indian government departments are involved in the crackdown on fraudulent SMS under the Sanchar Sathi initiative, recently seen in the news? So these departments are Department of Telecommunication and Ministry of Home Affairs. Okay. Next is which organization recently launched the India's first electric vehicle index? So here correct answer is National Stock Exchange, that is NSE. NSE has introduced India's first electric vehicle index named as Nifty Electric Vehicle and New Age Automotive Index. Okay, so it monitors the companies within the EV ecosystem and those which are developing the new age automotive technologies. It was launched with a base data of 2 April 2018 and a value of 1000. It includes the stocks from the Nifty 500 and the index undergoes semi-annual reconstitution and quarterly rebalancing. Okay, so India's first electric vehicle index has been launched by the National Stock Exchange. Now let's see some important current affairs regarding first in news. Recently, which country has launched their first space agency and plans to make a Mars landing by 2045? We have talked about this question in this session only. Answer would be South Korea. Which Indian mountaineer has recently made history by becoming the first person to scale the Mount Everest and Mount Lhotse twice in one season? This is Mr. Satyadeep Gupta. Okay, he has made history by becoming the first person who has scaled Mount Everest and Mount Lhotse twice in one season. Recently, which airport has made history by becoming the first airport in India to achieve the zero waste to landfill accolade? This is the Thiruvananthapuram International Airport. Recently, which Indian created history by becoming the first Indian space tourist? This is Gopi Thotapura. Okay, he is the first Indian space tourist. Recently, which organization has appointed David Selvagnini as its first Chief Artificial Intelligence Officer? This is NASA. Okay. Next is, recently, Alamay Halina has been appointed as the Prime Minister of which country? Correct answer here is Chad country. And in a significant move, Alamai Helena has been appointed as the new Prime Minister of Chad by replacing Success Masra, okay, who resigned recently. So his appointment strengthens the new administration's authority. However, opposition voices express the concerns about a perceived Debris dynasty alleging control over key institutions by the clan and its allies. So this transition triggers the debate and allegations amidst the political landscape of Chad country. Okay, so who is the new Prime Minister of Chad country? This is Alamai Helena. Let's talk about some important appointments. Recently, who has been appointed as the chairperson of the Committee A at the 77th World Health Assembly? This is Apurva Chandra. Fine. Recently, who has been appointed as the president of the Confederation of Indian Industry for the term 2024 to 2025? Answer would be Mr. Sanjeev Puri. Recently, Ida Sisha Nongrang has been appointed as the first woman DGP of which Indian state? Answer would be Meghalaya state. Recently, Mikhail Mishustin has been reappointed as the Prime Minister of which country? He is the newly appointed or reappointed Prime Minister of Russia country. Recently, who has been appointed as Secretary at Director level in the National Jute Board, Kolkata, under the Ministry of Textile? This is Shashi Bhushan Singh. Okay, he is the new Secretary at Director level in the National Jute Board. So these are the most important current affairs and the news from today. And now let's start with today's quiz. Here on the slide you can see 5 questions which have been taken from the past 2-3 days current affairs. Pause the video and try to solve each of these questions, and at the end of the lecture do not forget to share your scores in the comment section. So please be honest and do not cheat with yourself. So that's it for today. I hope you have liked the session. These were the important news and events from today, and we will meet again tomorrow with some more important current affairs. Till then, stay tuned. Thank you so much for watching, and please do not forget to subscribe to GK Today. With this, me Nuzhat Sana signing off.